And welcome to the Heroes Hype Amateur Series. It is week 4 and I'm joined by Anna Prosser Robinson. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Gilly. How you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty stressed. Guys, this is the first time that I will be running this. Before, we've always had Forecourt Jester, whom we love very much, running this. But now the training wheels are off.
Yeah, and you know what? This is the Heroes Hype Amateur Series. In case you're not familiar with it, it's a place where teams that are not necessarily pro teams that haven't had a chance to really show themselves off in the pro scene yet can come and show off their skills, maybe get scouted, and also just have a safe place to learn and have some real good competition. So the same thing is true for Gilly and I. This was our first place that we've casted over the last couple weeks, and now we are running a broadcast for you for the first time ever. And we have done all sorts of things like putting back together PCs and learning how to use certain features of OBS all in the very last minute. So you know what? We're just all going to be chill together, not worry about it. And you guys are going to help us and we're going to help you. And it's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome. And we have got our first game ready for you guys. We're going to have Maximum Velocity versus Infinity Gaming. And the draft for that should be starting here pretty quick. Did you see either of these teams last week, Anna?
I did not, and I have to say that I appreciate their very sensible and easy to pronounce names. Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of, we were teasing some teams about being hipster Portland bands because we had like Risky Biscuits and the Runny Gravy was doing really well.
That's my favorite name.
I mean, it's great. I love hipster Portland bands. I just, for a caster, it's a little bit difficult. So,
That's understandable.
But Infinity Gaming and Maximum Velocity, very sensible, communicate speed, communicate maximumness. Really like it. And it looks like they are ready to draft. In the meantime, though, guys, be sure that you're checking out Heroes Hype. If you're just now seeing this tournament for the first time, check out Heroes Hype. It's an amazing place to find more information about heroes and esports especially. Do follow them on Twitter. Tell them how awesome they are. And there's some giveaways going on as well, so pay attention to that.
Yes, we love Heroes Hype. Thank you so much. A huge shout out to Miss Honey for working her butt off to bring these awesome games to you guys and make, like Anna said, an awesome place for you guys to be able to practice, see cool games and up-and-coming teams, but also see, get maybe some good tips in for that as well.
It looks like the teams are ready to draft. I think maybe they were waiting for us to say we were ready. So now everyone is ready, and let's do it. It looks like the draft is starting. It's counting down.
I'm having troubles seeing the draft already. It's good.
Okay. But, without trouble in life, who would we become? We'd be like that boneless chicken in that poem.
Right now it's just, oh, wait, here we go. I think we might have it now. No. Okay. Nope. I'm sorry, guys, and I can't work on this with showing. Why is it just showing?
I will tell you what I see.
Here, I got it.
Good.
Okay. Sorry. We are on Dragonshire.
Yay!
This is my favorite map.
Is it your favorite, really?
It is my favorite map.
I do see it as the most, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way. I mean it in a complimentary way. The most vanilla map. Like, if you really want to just kind of, focus on your, focus on doing, the most basic Heroes iteration you can. I feel like that's Dragonshire. Do you think that's the same?
What I really like about it is that a lot of maps promote these big 5-man battles, but Dragonshire promotes more of sort of skirmishes as you're fighting at the shrines. And so it promotes, I think, a little bit of a different way of thinking. You can't just have a team that's built around these having 5 people that you just destroy, sort of the wombo combo, if you will. If you're going to have that, you also need to have the ability to do sort of, some better skirmishes with just 2 versus 2 as well.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
So we've got Maximum Velocity, who's got the first pick at first ban, and they have banned the ETC. What do you think about that?
Interesting, because I don't feel like I see ETC banned a ton. I don't know if maybe they know something about Infinity Gaming. They don't want to play against one of their ETCs. I mean, ETC's been a very solid tank lately. Not surprising that they don't want to play against him, but I would expect a few other bans before that one, unless they know something we don't about their opponent. What do you think?
I'm kind of surprised about the ETC ban as well. Like you said, don't see it too much, but the ban from Infinity Gaming does seem a little more standard with the Sergeant Hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, Sergeant Hammer has been just killing it lately. I've been loving watching the Sergeant Hammer play, and a few weeks back, we had quite a run with Zagara and Sergeant Hammer together being the Siege Sisters, and that was my favorite thing. I've been super hype about that and haven't seen much of it since then, so I'm secretly crossing my fingers that we see an Infinity Gaming, that later we see maybe Sergeant Hammer and Zagara showing up together. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we will see the first pick not surprise me at all coming out of Maximum Velocity. That's going to be Stitches, the king of hooks himself. Not surprised. Are you, Gilly?
Not surprised at all. I am surprised that he wasn't a ban. But we're going to be seeing some awesome hooks come out. And back to the Sergeant Hammer, too, she's so good on Dragonshire, too. The sieging on bottom lane is so important, and so I definitely understand the ban, not only of her in general, but on this map as well. So we've got the Stitches from Maximum Velocity, and then Infinity Gaming are going to pick up Vala and Rhaegar, which pretty standard first couple of picks for them. What do you think?
Yeah, I've been calling Vala the wingman, because it's like she's not the main character ever, she's not the biggest part of the story, but she's always someone you want there on your team. She was, I think, almost 100%, if not 100% picked last week when I casted. So not surprised to see that at all. Rhaegar, another solid pick we see a lot in terms of that healer role, but also somebody who really can do a lot of things very well. So pairing with Vala makes a lot of sense to me. The beginning of a pretty solid, pretty standard team comp. And same with Maximum Velocity, pulling out an Uther to match that Stitches. So these are a lot of faces that we've been seeing a lot of lately. Anything surprising to you, or do you like that synergy, particularly of Rhaegar with Vala, Gilly?
Rhaegar with Vala, I would say with Rhaegar that we're probably going to see another support of some type, whether it's more of a supporting role like Malf or more like Tyrande or Tassadar. Solo healing for him is definitely not a strong suit, but the Uther Stitches combo is really cool. Gank squad galore, especially if they could get the hooks down and then immediately drop the stun from Uther. That provides really good displacement while the other team tries to burn somebody down.
What do you think we're going to see coming out next for them? I mean, we've got really solid tankiness going on with Maximum Velocity. Do we think we'll see another support? Will we start seeing some more damage? What do you think? Oh, questions answered.
I was going to say damage probably for sure, and we are seeing an Illidan. It's interesting to me. I know that people really like Illidan and Rhaegar together. I'm excited to see what Maximum Velocity can do with Illidan Uther, and I'm wondering if they will go ahead and try to pick up another support of some type. Illidan, of course, being really squishy, but he does so much damage. Some are saying that he's even OP right now, and the Nerf gun might be coming for him.
Well, and it's interesting, maybe Maximum Velocity is looking at that Rhaegar on the part of Infinity Gaming and being like, wow, we really don't want to play against an Illidan Rhaegar. I don't know that they would have picked it up anyway, but it might be a little bit of a defensive pick as well, and definitely a strong hero right now. So pretty smart of them to use that as their damage, I would say.
Yeah, if you've got someone who can play him, definitely get him. He's so strong. And we're back to Infinity Gaming. What do you think you might pick here, or what they're picking? And they pick right as we've done this twice now.
Well, I was going to say a support, but not surprised to see Tassadar coming out. A lot of these teams have been playing dual support, but a lot of times they'll be playing kind of the 1.5 support where they're saying, we don't want to commit to 2 just healers. We want to have people who can do some other things as well. And Tassadar is definitely one of those that some people even say doesn't deserve to be called a support. So paired with Rhaegar, I think that's going to give them some really good sustainability. I have seen some teams even going for 3 support, or what you might call 2.5 support or something like that. I doubt that we'll see that from Infinity Gaming, though, as they're really probably going to need a little bit more tankiness.
Yeah, I think that they'll maybe go for 1 more damage here and then go for the tank last, since they already know that Maximum's picked up their tank. They know they've got a little bit of time to pick through and decide who they want for that last one. But, they may go ahead and just pick them up, keep safe, and have the tank that they want here. they are dipping into their time pool a bit, so they are taking time to think about it, and there they have picked the Tychus.
Nice. Yeah, Vala and Tychus both dealing a ton of damage, so maximum velocity is now definitely going to be looking to make sure their sustain gets very high, especially with Illidan, like you said, being so squishy. So I'll be interested to see what kind of, well, I'm not going to put words in their mouth, but what kind of extra support they're going to be picking up if they do. You never know. And I think it's interesting, too, that you mentioned that Infinity Gaming is not picking up their tank right away because they don't have ETC and they don't have Stitches on the table. So I wonder if they really care that much about what tank they get that's left over. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they have some time to figure out what will be the best counter. And then I feel like in picks in this game, you have to go what is most important for you for that draft, and then you're going to be sort of lacking in one other respect, not necessarily going to have the top. And so that's the thing that you can kind of leave off until last generally. So I think they opted to go for a bit of damage and then supports first, and then knowing that they could circle back around and pick up a tank, especially since Maximum Velocity first picked their Stitches. Let's see. Maximum has went ahead and picked up the Malf, so they did decide to get another support, and between Malf and Uther, they're going to be able to really make sure that they keep that Illidan up, and I think they'll be just looking for one extra damage here. Any thoughts as to who they might be looking to pick up?
Well, we do see, I mean, we already have Vala and Tychus on the board, and those are two of the very easy picks in terms of doing damage. They've already got Illidan, who's got a ton of mobility and movement around, so I don't know. I mean, it could be a specialist even. They may be looking at something a little fancy there. But I don't want to make the call because it kind of could be a little bit of anything, which is nice for Maximum Velocity to be in this position where they aren't struggling to look for something. And it will be a specialist. That makes the commentator feel very good when they call the last pick. So Nazebo's going to come out for Maximum Velocity, followed by Diablo for Infinity Gaming, which isn't a surprise either. And I feel like these teams look very evenly matched. What do you think?
Yep, I like both sides. I love the Nazebo pick. And then we've been seeing a lot more Diablo lately as well. And if you can play him well, the displacement's great. And he's even going to be great versus Nazebo too, which needing somebody to deal with that Ravenous Spirit. Diablo has lots of displacement to try to stop that. So that's really cool as well. I guess we will head in-game. Any final thoughts before we get this started?
No, I mean, that was a great starting draft. It's going to give us a great place to start from. And on Dragonshire, you really like seeing this kind of balance because, like you said, it's going to make for some really interesting skirmishes, making sure that the right characters are in the right place at the right time. Because, like you said, you may have a situation where there's three in one spot as opposed to 5 in one spot. So you want to make sure that it's the right 3. Both of these teams have a double support, so they're going to want to make sure that they've got the right support with the right person at the right time. And that's going to be what this game is all about, which is going to be really exciting to watch. Do you think we're going to see a lot of the because Dragonshire can become a huge like bumping into each other match, you know, where they're just kind of both seesawing between top and bottom, or, you know, nothing's really changing and we don't get a dragon for a long time. Do you think we're going to see that, or do you think it's going to be a more fast-paced game?
I feel like the more even the teams, generally, the like matched-wise, the longer it takes to get that first dragon. And I know that people complain about it. They're like, oh my gosh, a 14-minute first dragon. I think it's awesome when it goes that long before getting the first dragon. I think it's so neat. Guys, please let me know if my in-game sound is too low. I think it probably will be, but I'd rather it start out too low than drown out myself and my wonderful co-caster, Anna.
No.
So we are going into game 1. It's the only game. It's a best of 1 between Maximum Velocity and Infinity Gaming here on Dragonshire.
Yeah, and in case you aren't familiar with Heroes, you're just joining us in the community, or you just need a little reminder, Dragonshire, of course, is the map where there are 2 shrines, one at the top, one in the bottom, the Sun and the Moon Shrine. You want your team to control both of those shrines when the Dragon Knight is available, and if you do, you can go channel the Dragon Knight himself, and this is one of those maps where you put on a suit, if you will. You become the Dragon Knight, and you have special abilities that are really, really great for pushing and doing tons of damage. So you really want to get that Dragon Knight, and if you don't, you want to make sure that your opponents don't either.
Exactly right. Dragonshire is my favorite map. Let's check out our teams. On the blue side, we have Maximum Velocity, and that's Deathspark, Nasoda, Varanar, Silcor, and Fellshroud.
And of course, in the red team, we have Infinity Gaming. And they are Scarlet on Rhaegar, Shot as Vala, Spade War on Diablo, Enigma as Tychus, and Steel Rain as Tassadar. And we're getting right into it already. We've got 2 top here from the blue team. Making sure that I remember which one is which. That's always the hardest for me. So Maximum Velocity. And going to be joined by that Murky. Nope, it's a Diablo.
It's the Merkablo skin.
Yes.
Definitely. It seemed like Infinity Gaming were wanting to get something done there in the mid. Maybe looking for a gank on mid, but Stitches, of course, playing safe there. Farinar's like, no way.
And this is pretty, we see this a lot where we've got 3 in the bottom lane, 1 in the top, and 1 in the mid from Infinity Gaming, but also fairly common to see 2 top, 2 bottom, and 1 mid. But it looks like they're going to agree, fine, we'll put 3 bottom.
Pulling up the talents, not seeing too much strange as far as I know. It seems that Stitch is going to be going for the slam build and Vala for the multi-shot build. So Vala's just going to be looking to throw as many arrows out as possible. And we've started the first shrine phase.
And it looks like Infinity Gaming is dominating pretty well here in the bottom, and it's going to be interesting because actually in the top, Maximum Velocity is sending Uther a support against the Diablo from Infinity Gaming, but Diablo is already so low that Uther is able to just take that no problem and go back to soaking in lane. So Infinity Gaming is still looking to complete their shrine domination and not going to have an easy time of it here in the top. So we're seeing that balancing act happen where teams are saying, okay, fine, I don't need both shrines, but you're definitely not going to get both of them either. We need to have at least one.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in starting out this are so concerned with trying to get the dragon that they let themselves get killed taking the shrines. And especially in the early game, guys, as long as you are not giving them the Dragon Knight, that's all you sometimes need to do. But it seems that Scarlet and Enigma are going to be able to body block and kill Silcor. And Deathspark's trying to get away, but Shot gets the last shot on him, so that's going to be 2 heroes down for the blue team. Respawn timer's pretty fast during the early game, though, so they will be able to get up here pretty quickly, but it does give the red team a good experience lead, which is always important, especially before the level 10 talents.
And very interesting because we're seeing that both teams opted to bring a support and 2 damage dealers down into the bottom lane, which is pretty standard, but we are seeing that Tychus and Vala are able to do quite a lot of damage, and that Illidan and Nazeebo weren't quite able to stand up to that with Malfurion by their side. So now it looks like Stitches will rotate bottom. Varanar will bring him down to stand next to Illidan as soon as Malfurion wakes back up to support them, and that might be a little bit more difficult for this composition from Infinity Gaming down here in the bottom to deal with. And we do see that the top shrine is still being held very solidly by Nasoda on Uther, so Maximum Velocity is probably feeling pretty confident right now.
Yes, even though they've lost a couple of people, they're still catching up in the experience, so that's good too. Deathspark's hitting very low, again is going to try to get away, but once again taken out by the Tychus and Rhaegar combination. It's so strong! So strong.
Yeah, we see the healing ward go down by Malfurion to keep Stitches alive. Stitches is not going to die anytime soon. Stitches is a very, very tanky hero, really good with displacement, and I haven't seen many hooks come out yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it soon, especially as soon as we see another hero join Stitches, which will happen very soon as Illidan is on his way. Yeah,
it's interesting to me that, like I was talking about earlier with Uther and Stitches together, that we're not getting to really see that too much in the early game. A lot of times you'll see heroes running around and trying to sort of, what you might call gank squad, where they try to just run around and jump into lanes and take people. But Maximum Velocity has been able to take the bottom shrine, pushed Infinity Gaming back a bit. Nazeebo is here at the Dragon Knight trying to take it, but Diablo is trying to get the top shrine back. Uther was trying to keep him away, but meanwhile, Infinity Gaming has been able to take back bottom shrine, and now, once again, they're in a fight. And Malfurion's going to have to run away. Illidan's jumping up, but once again, will have to get away. The healing on the Tychus, man, making it difficult.
And we're not seeing a lot of black appearing on the the health bars here for Infinity Gaming, and once they've got Tychus and Vala in the right position, they can do a ton of damage. They've actually pushed Maximum Velocity back behind their wall, and now they actually control the Dragon Knight. And it looks like having 2 mid, they're going to have an easier time of actually claiming it, and Steel Rain will become the Dragon Knight, and will start pushing, looks like mid lane, and hoping to grab some more damage. That's unfortunate for Infinity Gaming, or who's that? Maximum Velocity. That's unfortunate for them because they've also got some damage going bottom. So they've lost both their bot lane and a lot of their mid lane all at the same time. They are grieving.
Yeah, and they're having trouble engaging too much. They have been able to take down the Dragon Knight, and Tassadar won't have a problem getting away. He's Tassadar. But it is important to note that during all of that, Infinity Gaming got their level 10 talents, and we're still not quite at level 10 for Maximum Velocity. So it's quite a level difference here as well. Of course, there's an attack going down on bottom 2. You want to try to engage while the team is behind a talent level, but especially at level 10, because it's such a big difference. And you saw the Rain of Vengeance from Vala. We also have Apocalypse from Diablo. The Dragon Laser Drill from Tychus, which is pretty interesting. Archon from Tassadar, and Ancestral Healing from Rhaegar.
Yeah, and once both teams have gone past that 10 mark, you'll definitely see them playing a little bit more standard. We did see a big spike of aggression there from Infinity Gaming as they wanted to take advantage of the fact that they were 10 and their opponents were not. And it looks like right now we've got Maximum Velocity a little bit on the back foot. What do you think they need to do right now, Gilly, to kind of gain their footing back?
Well, they've got Stitches, so a pick would be amazing. If you can get a kill, it's going to count for more experience because that's how the game works. So if they could get a kill on one of the Infinity Gaming team members, that would be very helpful. Stitches does throw the hook down, but unfortunately he's pretty out of position. Shot's going to be able to take him out, and Diablo drops the Apocalypse with the laser drill there, hitting everybody down. Uther is so low, but Scarlet's going to have to disengage. And Illidan barely gets away too. So everyone pretty much gets away except for that first Stitches kill, which is pretty amazing to me, actually.
Yeah, poor Stitches just wanted to play, but died right away, and then everyone else lived without him. And it really is interesting. You mentioned that healing on the Tychus. Oh, and Illidan will go down. Like we said, Illidan is so squishy that if he gets out of position and his healer was too far back, then he is going to go down. But Tychus looked a couple times like he was going to be out of commission, but that healing just brought him right back up, and he had no trouble staying in that fight and dealing tons and tons of damage with that big gun.
What do you think of the laser drill pick instead of Odin? Normally we see Odin for his heroic, but he chose to go with the laser drill this time.
You know what? I'm not very familiar with it, so I'm not sure why he would be thinking about doing that. What do you think?
My thought is maybe if Diablo can drop an Apocalypse in the game, and they've also got the... No, Uther's on the other team. Never mind. Well, Diablo's got the Apocalypse and the Rain of Vengeance, then maybe they're hoping to drop the drill right on top of that, and it'll just deal a lot of damage. I'm not really sure either, because I also don't really see it. But we do have the heroic abilities as well for the other team. Gorge for Stitches, Metamorphosis, Tranquility, Divine Storm, and then, of course, Ravenous Spirit, too. But once again, we see that already Infinity Gaming is up another talent level. So they're level 13, and that's going to spell trouble for any team fights for Maximum Gaming. Velocity.
And it looks like they are focusing down Stitches, which is pretty smart. They're just taking him out right away, especially when he gets out of position. That's going to make things a lot easier for them for the rest of this team fight. And as they're right now 4v2, probably going to be fine. It looks like Maximum Velocity is still on the back foot, and it's really interesting to note that I personally haven't seen them take any mercenary camps yet. Have you? Maximum Velocity?
No, the one was they were all fighting over this siege camp, but Infinity Gaming was able to put the pressure on while they were 10 and steal it. So
they really haven't been able to do anything in terms of, what you're really looking for is, team fighting, trying to get picks on the other team, trying to make sure that you're taking mercenaries to push for you, trying to soak XP, and trying to get that Dragon Knight. And with Infinity Gaming grabbing yet another Dragon Knight, Maximum Velocity is kind of looking at themselves and going, all right, we need to accomplish one of these things soon.
They have caught up in talent levels. Unfortunately, Infinity Gaming is about to get another one. Death Spark trying to get away from that Dragon Knight, but that hammer does so much damage, and Illidan is going to go down. Now Uther will probably be the next victim as Diablo throws him to his death, and he gets to run around still as a ghost, but not going to accomplish too much there before he'll have to hit the respawn timers again.
Yeah, and the entire team of Infinity Gaming following up this Dragon Knight, going for this push. Do you think they're going to try and push to win here? Do you think they could manage that?
I think that they'll probably push to try to get keep, but